Britain said on Thursday the most dangerous moment in the West's standoff with Moscow appeared imminent, as Russia held military exercises in Belarus and the Black Sea following the buildup of its forces near Ukraine. Ukraine also staged war games, and the United States urged Americans in the country to leave immediately due to increased threats of Russian military action. But leaders on all sides signaled they hoped diplomacy could still prevail in what British Prime Minister Boris Johnson called Europe's biggest security crisis for decades. In a new round of talks, Britain's foreign minister sparred publicly with her Russian counterpart in Moscow. Johnson visited NATO headquarters in Brussels, and Germany's leader met his Baltic states counterparts in Berlin, where officials from Russia, Ukraine, Germany and France were also holding discussions. Russia, which has more than 100,000 troops near Ukraine's borders, denies Western accusations it may be planning to invade its former Soviet neighbor, though it says it could take unspecified military technical action unless demands are met. I honestly don't think a decision has yet been taken by Moscow on whether to attack, Johnson told a news conference with NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg. But that doesn't mean that it is impossible, that something absolutely disastrous could happen very soon indeed. Stoltenberg also said it was a dangerous moment for European security, adding the number of Russian forces is going up. The warning time for a possible attack is going down. In a new point of friction, Ukraine criticized Russian naval exercises that it said were part of a hybrid war and had made navigation in the Black Sea and Sea of Azov virtually impossible. Nearly 9 hours of talks between Ukraine and Russia on Thursday failed to produce a breakthrough on signing a joint document, but both sides agreed to keep talking. The chief of staff to Ukraine's president said after the talks in Berlin, Russia said the talks with Ukraine, France and Germany on the conflict in eastern Ukraine fell short of any new agreement, and criticized what it called a lack of clarity in the Ukrainian position. The U.S. State Department urged Americans in Ukraine to leave immediately due to what it called increased threats of Russian military action. Asked whether there was a scenario that could prompt him to send troops to rescue fleeing Americans, Biden replied, "There's not. That's a world war when Americans and Russia start shooting at one another. We are in a very different world than we've ever been." Visiting Moscow, British Foreign Secretary Liz Truss was upbraided by Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, who accused her of refusing to listen. Stoltenberg said last week that Russia was expected to have 30,000 troops in Belarus, as well as U-35 fighter jets, S-400 air defense systems and nuclear-capable Iskander missiles. Russia held a briefing for military attaches that lasted just 8 minutes, and gave notice of an exercise that was already underway, a senior U.S. State Department official said. That's highly inconsistent with agreements for transparency for large military exercises in Europe. That's bad news, the official said. Ukraine launched its own war games on Thursday which, like Russia's joint drills with Minsk, will run until February 20. The Ukrainian forces, whose numbers have not been disclosed, are set to use Bayraktar drones and anti-tank Javelin and NLAW missiles provided by foreign partners. Kyiv was due to receive a further shipment of U.S. military aid later on Thursday.